Hello and welcome to McKendree University Astronomy 101. This is a video to show you how to make red, blue, green color images using the telescope images from the MicroObservatory remote robotic telescopes from Arizona. So this video is made using my Mac computer. The process is just the same if you're on a Windows machine, but just to give you an example of how it works for this Mac. And then, of course, if you've seen my earlier video, this video just has a little bit better quality in terms of the image that I'm going to make. Okay, so to start off, you've already downloaded your telescope images from the MicroObservatory email you were sent after you took your telescope images. I've already downloaded my images and renamed them as red, green, blue, and dark. And I've put them in my telescope color images folder over here on my desktop. So I've also opened up the MicroObservatory imaging software, which you can download. So I've already opened up the imaging software. I'm just going to go ahead and open up each of my images into the software. I'm just going to drag them right in. So there's the red, the green, the blue, and the dark. Now, of course, if you're on a Windows machine, you can easily just go up and say File, Open, and open each individual file into the program. Okay, so we have our dark image, our blue filter, our green filter, and our red filtered image. So what we're going to do to make our colored image is we're going to process these images. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to dark subtract my images. This dark frame catches all the cosmic rays that are coming into the telescope CCD camera. And we just want to subtract this dark frame from all of our images. This is a really easy process. Just click on the image that we're going to start with. In this example, I'm using the red filtered image. I'm going to do Image Calculator. Image 1 in this case is the red. Operation will be subtract. I'm going to subtract the dark image from my red filtered image. So red image, subtract the dark. I'm going to have it create a new window, and that's fine. So say OK. All right, this has saved it. Now it's untitled, so I want to go ahead and save this as a new file. So I'm going to say Save As. Make sure you save it as a FITS file again, because we're going to want to do a little bit more data manipulation. So go ahead and save this as a FITS file. I'm going to rename this. So this is my red filter. I'm going to call it dark sub for dark subtract. I'm going to save this into my folder I've made on my desktop called Telescope Color Images. So dark sub. Now make sure it's .fits. If you're on a Windows machine, this will automatically save it as a .fits. So there we go, dark sub .fits. So I can go ahead and close out my original red fits image. I will no longer need it. I've got my dark subtracted, so we'll go ahead and leave that here. Same process for each image. Okay, the green filter image, I'm going to go ahead and do Process, Image Calculator. The green filter, I'm going to subtract the dark frame. Okay, so green, subtract the dark frame. Submit. Okay, again, here it is. I've taken out all the noise in the background. I want to save this file, so save as, file, save as a FITS file again. I'm going to rename this. This is the green underscore dark sub. And again, I'm going to save it in my folder I've created for these images. And there's my green dark sub.fits. All right, so I can go ahead and close out the original green. And our last one, the blue filtered image, same process. We want to subtract the dark image. So Process, Image Calculator. So it's the blue filtered image. We're going to subtract the dark frame. So subtract the dark frame. Go ahead and say OK. All right, it's untitled. So let's save that as our new name. FITS file. Remember, not GIF, but a FITS file. We're still working with the data. This was my blue. And we'll call it dark sub because it's dark subtracted. Go ahead and save it into my folder. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out the original dark, or the original blue filter. Okay, so now I have my blue dark subtracted, my green dark subtracted, and my red dark subtracted. So now we've taken out all those cosmic rays that we're able to see in the dark image. So we're done with the dark image. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. All right, next thing is we just want to clean up our images a bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, and there's no particular order with this part, is I'm just going to reduce the noise. So I've gone ahead and I've clicked on the red. I'm just going to say reduce noise. Okay, and you can actually see that it shifted the image a bit and reduced it. So same thing on the green, I'm going to do reduce noise. Okay, that's reduced a bit of the noise. The blue, I'm going to reduce noise. Okay, now I'm going to do similar on each of these. So I'm still clicked on the blue image, which is great. I'm going to do sharpen. Okay, that sharpened it a little bit. The green, I'm going to sharpen. And finally the red, go to process and sharpen. All right, perfect. That's just kind of an initial editing to do. Let's do some more. So let's go to process and adjust image. So it's the first one I under process, adjust image. This is going to open a new little window over here called adjust image. So I'm going to click on my first image. I'm going to click on the red dark subtract. And just the easiest way for a nebula as bright as the Orion Nebula that we're working with here is just to do an auto adjust. So I'll auto adjust that and bam, right there. Wow, you can really see the Orion Nebula just pop right out. You can also manually adjust this by moving these little arrows up and down. You can see that brings out a little bit more of the nebular features. If you wanted to bring that nebular feature down a bit, you can bring up the dark. Okay, so you can really play around with this until you really get the nebula to kind of pop out of the image where you want to see it. So as you can see, as I move this around, you can just really see how it changes the image. Okay, so get that to a level that you think looks appropriate. Then go ahead and click on your next image. In this case, it's the green one. I'm going to go ahead and do auto. Okay, that looks great for me. Let's see if I adjust just slightly more. Ooh, that brought out a little bit more of the green. Nice. Okay, now blue. So click on the blue dark subtracted image. I'm going to go ahead and do auto. There it is. And we'll just adjust slightly more in here. So just play around with this, like I said, until you get it to where you want. Now, as you can see in my image, the bright stars have bled out. Okay, it means they're a little bit overexposed. Remember, you were able to pick your exposure time on the telescope. That's fine with this image. We're still going to get a beautiful image of the Orion Nebula. Those bright stars in the middle are just a little bit overexposed, but that's okay. All right, so now we've adjusted the image to really bring out the nebula. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Like I said, you can play around with that as much as you want to really get that nebula to come popping out of the image. The next thing we want to do is we want to color the images with the correct filter color, which is why we labeled them in the first place. I'm already clicked on the blue filtered image. So let's go ahead and color that blue. So go ahead and go to Color Table, underneath Process, and then click Blue. All right, so there's the blue filter. I'm going to go ahead and click on the green. So I've clicked on the green, Process, Color Tables, green filter, and then finally the red, process, color, red filter. All right. Now, the last thing we want to do is we want to take the red, the green, and the blue and stack them on top of each other and then shift the images. So the telescope took 3 different pictures with 3 different filters, a red filter, a green filter, and a blue filter. So chances are the field of view is slightly off a little bit. Okay, you can already see in this red filter, these bottom stars down here. Notice on the green filter, I see 1, 2, 3 stars, 4, 5. On the red, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and it's cut off that last star. That's fine. It just means it didn't capture the full field of view exactly in the same spot. But we want to move the images so that they lie right on top of one another. So we can do that by stacking the images and then shifting them to line up exactly. And we can use the stars in the images to line up. So to do this, hit Process. Then we're going to stack the images to start. So to stack, go down to Stack, and then go ahead and pick Convert Images to Stack. So Convert Images to Stack. That has now stacked each image. So we have the red, the green, and the blue. They're all stacked on top of one another. All right, now we want to shift them. So process and shift. Okay, this opens up a new window. So it's going to take one image as the background and one image as the foreground. And then you can move the images on top of each other to line up the stars. So let's select a background image. So background image, let's go ahead and pick blue as our background image. Foreground image, let's start with red. Okay, so background image blue, foreground image red. When you move your cursor over this, you'll see a little magnification window pops up over here on the right-hand side. This can help you really line up the stars. So notice that the stars are all just slightly shifted from one another. Look, there's a blue star and a red star, a blue star and a red star. We want to line up those stars. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the image and notice I can drag around. So I'm dragging around the foreground image on top of the background image. So in this case, it's the blue in the background and the red on the foreground. So I'm going to match up these stars. I'm going to put the red right on top of the blue. So that looks pretty lined up, but I'm going to look over here in the small magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in on a pixel and just see if I can get it just right. So I'm just going to, you can also change the magnification here. Let's say like 8 times. All right, look how magnified that is. So let's see. Oh, wow, I'm getting off. Whoa. Okay, let's get it on. The more perfect you get it, the more beautiful your image is going to be. Now, I've been working with these stars up here in the upper part of the image. Check some stars down the lower part as well. Make sure you get them as lined up as possible. And then recheck the top ones. Oh, they're still a little off. So the image might be a little twisted, but that's okay. Just do the best you can. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. Okay. So that might be as good as we get. Okay, so that was the red. Now let's go ahead and click on the green. So now let's pop the green on top. So same process, we're going to line the green stars up with the blue stars. So notice the patterns, where do the stars match up? Now sometimes the stars might not look like they match up at all. That could be because the telescope took a picture in the wrong location for that filter. In that case, you just can't use that image, okay? And email me if you're in my class, and I can give you a better set of 3 images to work with to make a pretty picture. So sometimes if the stars aren't lining up, the telescope wasn't working quite correctly and didn't take the image of what it was supposed to. Okay, so I'm lining up the stars again. That one looks good. That one looks good. All right, those all look good for the green. Okay, so we did the blue background with the green, and then the red. You could check again if you wanted, like putting red in the background. Now here's red and green. Oh, those look good. You can do red and blue. Those look good. All right, so once you have these shifted to match up, go ahead and press OK. All right, so now it's shifted these images so they're all lined up star upon star. So now we want to convert our image to a Roy G. Biv colored image. So go ahead and go to Stack, Convert Stack to RGB. And voila! It's our beautiful colored Orion Nebula. You can really see the colors coming out there in the nebular gas region. Gorgeous. And of course your stars, if they're lined up correctly, should look white like this. Okay, the stars are generally going to look fairly white in the telescope images, but you can really see like the red filter, the green, and the blue filtered images to really bring this nebula to 3 dimensions for you. Okay, so finally you want to save this in an image format that you can actually share with friends, right? So go ahead and do File, Save As, and let's save this as a GIF file. So File, Save As, click on GIF. I'm going to call this is the Orion Nebula. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save it in my same folder that I had. So go ahead and click Save. All right, and here is my final image. All right, so this is the stacked image. I can go ahead and close that, and here is my final GIF image. You have this saved in your folder. You can share this with friends, email it, and do what you like with it. All right, so that's how you make colored images using the MicroObservatory Images program. All right, thanks for watching, and hope that helped.